Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue en Pendu dans un Cercle de Lune. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you already know from my attempt at a French introduction that this is my series in which I use Cercle de Marseille adjacent and antique Italian decks to help me explore a topic that is revealed to me in the earlier video that I record every week. And that video has either been a Rider-Waite-Smith based video or a Harris Crowley Thoth based video or a Continental Tarot based video. And so this is my way to explore those topics. And I've got a spread already laid out, but before we get to that spread, I'd like to remind you that it's beneficial because this spread is a response to the spread that I already recorded a video for before, to go watch that video first. So you get the foundation, the basics, what that video was all about, so you can understand this reading a lot better. And it's okay for you to watch these videos in bits and pieces. You don't have to watch a full hour video in one sitting. You can split it up, and that's perfectly fine. And so I'll put a card up here for you to click on, hop on over, watch that earlier video from this week, and then come back here. Okay, do that. It will help you a lot. Just in case you have already seen that video, you've already watched that video and you want a brief refresher, that video was about new opportunities, but opportunities that come after we do the work of analyzing and synthesizing things. Yeah, and then we can, that synthesis could spark something new, a new inspiration, a new idea, something, or an old idea which is refreshed, and that we follow that into a new creation. And we follow a new path for us that might be divergent from other people's paths or even from our previous path. Yeah? It was a very interesting reading, and one that I felt humbled before because this is something that I am frankly not exactly good at or well practiced in. So there was that reading. And this reading is going to be very interesting. I hope it's interesting for you. Let me know in the comments below whether it was interesting or not. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the spread, and then we'll talk about the spread. Are you all ready? Here it is. What do you think of those cards? Isn't that a great deck? Now, so that's not Cercle de Marseille traditional, right? It's not Italian. It's not an antique Italian deck. This is a deck called Cercle de Lune. And probably I should have done an Italian intro to this video, but it's by an American creator, Patrick Valenza. This deck, I love this deck. I love this deck. There are several versions of this deck, and I have all of them because I love the artwork on it so much in all of its colored variations. This is the original sepia tone version, but this one has English titles. If you ever came out with an Italian version of the deck again, I might want to get that. Just saying. But right now I've got this deck and I love it. And in case you're interested in this deck, there will be a link in the description box below. So this deck comes with the Cercle de Marseille, and it comes with an additional Oracle-like cards. And there's also a beast pack that comes with it. So what I do is I have my tarot deck, and then I separate the Oracle cards that came with the tarot deck plus the beast deck together into one Oracle. And I shuffle those separately to get an Oracle card addition to my Cercle de Marseille readings when I use this deck. It's just lovely, I think. It's wonderful. And so, what am I going to do? You saw the cards all together. Let me give you a brief refresher of the 4 cards. Yes, there were 4 cards at the top for the Tarot de Marseille portion of the reading, right? So here they are again. You saw from left to right, we got the Six of Cups, the Moon, the Star, and the Five of Wands. Lovely cards, lovely artwork. Love the Moon card in this deck and the Star card. Very different from Tarot de Marseille traditional images, and yet you get the idea, right? It's very strong. It is Tarot de Marseille, reconceived. So Tarot de Marseille adjacent. Now, why were there 4 cards, you may wonder? Well, if you looked at that, if you noticed the line of sight, yeah, the Star card was definitely looking at the Moon card. So the first 3 cards I pulled were the Moon, the Star, and the Five of Wands. So the Star is clearly looking at the Moon card figure. And the Moon card figure was facing off the spread, even though their eyes are closed, was facing off the spread and dreaming. And so they're facing to the left, they're dreaming. What is that figure dreaming about? So I picked another card. And I thought, yeah, that's what they're dreaming about. So that's how we're going to read this spread. We're going to read this spread from right to left. So we'll start off with, well, actually, we're going to start off with the Star and the Five of Wands together, because the Star, behind the Star, we have the Five of Wands, and that's what she is carrying forward into the Moon card. So let's start off with the Star. Who is the Star? Love this image. Yeah, you see that the Star has a moon head, kind of, right? Her skull at the top kind of looks like a crescent moon, facing off to the left. I hope that's the way you see it. That's the way it looks to me. Two arms on one side of her body reaching up to the Star above, and on the other side of her body, no arms. And a bit out of her body seems to be bitten away, maybe? I don't know. It's really an interesting card. You see a fish there chomping on her left foot, maybe? Maybe her left foot? Just an interesting image. And what does the Star mean? Well, for me, the Star is a card of purification, regeneration, and renewal. It's what happens after the shock of the Tower card, right? Yeah? It's a card of hope and faith, but also success. Luck and truth are indicated here. So that's who she is. She's a being that is healing and is rediscovering hope and faith, and is now moving in the direction of success, and has rediscovered her luck. And she's uncovered. Yeah, she shows and accepts herself as she is, so we can do that. And we get the feeling of guidance here, right? There's energy from a higher place. There are signposts for us to follow. And we have a sanctification of place, and the potential sanctification of mystical person here as well. So we've got all of that. That is what the kind of being that she is. She is in a sanctified place. She sees the direction that she has from above. She regenerates, she renews, she rediscovers her faith, her hope. She feels lucky again. Yeah, she shows and accepts herself as she is. How and why? Well, she's moving forth with the Five of Wands, right? Which is a card of playfulness and experimentation and creative risks. That break out in the Tower might have been something that has allowed her to break out of the structure of routine and of doing the same thing over and over and over again, and something new, which is wonderful, because that's the direction this week's first spread was pointing towards. Doing something new desires, having the energy to go beyond what has been known and what we have done in the past. And that's perhaps why she has found her hope and her faith and feeling success. She's evolving towards unexpected depths or larger dimensions here. She's breaking free and breaking out. She's initiated herself into the unknown. And that could be a sexual initiation. Passions and sexuality are part of the wands, especially in Tarot de Marseille. But it could also be creative domains, creative aspects of life. And that creativity could be the creativity of new life, right? Like biologically new life, but it could be creativity in any aspect of our life. And so she is facing forward and she is breaking free and she is re-energized and she's playful and she accepts herself and as she is, and she is creative. She takes creative risks and she's experimenting and she has energy and she has a new desire and she goes to sleep at night with the moon, right? The moon here asleep. So this is the card of secrets, sometimes illusions, sometimes the unconscious, sometimes repression, repressed elements within our psyche. Perhaps even suppression of psychic elements. Psychic elements, not like the psychic element of telekinesis or being a medium, but elements within our psyche. So sometimes it's suppressing them or repressing them, which are a little bit different, right? But it can also be intuition. It can be dreams. It can be divination. This is a divination card for me. And imagination. So, with all of this renewal, she begins to engage her imagination and her ability to see beyond the veil, beyond the present reality. And she dreams the new life and the new thing that she's moving in the direction of. And maybe that new idea, that new image is coming from the deep unconscious, from hidden truths, from truths that have been hidden from her or that she has hidden from herself. So she's receptive. And she's discovering the hidden treasures perhaps within herself, but also perhaps within the surrounding. And that's interesting because one of the advice cards from the earlier spread of this week was to discover the value of things that are around us, the common, ordinary, everyday things. Discover the value of them. And I'm going to pause here just a second. I'm sorry. I knew that airplane was just going to get louder and louder and louder, so I thought, let's stop here for just a brief moment. So, yes, you saw that the star woman that we are, whether we're in a male body, a female body, an intersex body, a cis body, a trans body, whatever. We are all the female of the star. And sorry, the air traffic around here has just been crazy this last week or two, and I don't know why. Hopefully it's not an indication of bad things happening in the world. But okay, so I'm sorry for that pause, but I could tell that it ended up being like 3 or 4 air vehicles that were just making crazy noise around here suddenly. So anyways, we have the star figure moving in towards this the intuition, the dreams, the divination, all of that, those wonderful aspects, right? And what is this dreamer dreaming of? What is this being here intuiting? What is coming up from the depths? Good question, right? Well, the thing that this dreamer is dreaming of, the star that is dreaming of now, is the 6 of Cups, which is what? It's happy relationships. It's joy in socializing, perhaps. It's taking pleasure in love and community. All possibility. All possibilities. But it's also self-love. It's love of self in the fullness. You can see these 2 rows of cups, right? You could think of one row of cup as being self, three aspects of self, looking at through a mirror at the mirror image of self, and feeling and expressing love of self, acceptance of self, and inner contact with the divine love that is there within by gazing at self even, right? It could be the meeting and accepting of the other, of course, as in a mirror relationship, where self-esteem and esteem of other meet as well. There's another plane coming. I don't get it. Let's power through this. So, we have faithful long-term relationships here as well. So we're dreaming of relationship. It could be a relationship with self. It could be a relationship with the divine. It could be a relationship with a significant other, whether that be a marriage partner or a lover or a coworker even, right? But somebody we're in intimate relationship with. And it's a long-term relationship, stable personal alliances. And this love could include intelligence, the heart, and the intellect. So the three aspects of self, loving self, three aspects of self, loving aspects of the divine trinity, or the three aspects of self, loving three aspects of the other in physical human form. Does that make sense? So the thing that we're dreaming of is relationship. A fullness of relationship, either again with self, with the divine, or with another human being. Wonderful, wonderful things, right? And so we've got an oracle card. Let me show you that oracle card right now. Here it is. This oracle card is called the Maiden. Yeah, the Maiden. And what do we see here? We see a hooded maiden that holds a small pet in her palm. Yes, that thing is her pet. And she's gazing into its eyes with devotion. In time, that little itty-bitty creature in her hand is going to grow into a gigantic and powerful being. But until then, it's dependent on her for its every need. The maiden protects the creature against negative influences by keeping the darker side of life, represented by the devilish hood on her. You see the devil which is turned away from her, right? Which is interesting because we got the Ace of Wands in the larger spread this time. We also get the star, that the hope, faith, success, something new coming in. And so we have this maiden here in the oracle card holding and looking at that new thing which is going to grow, and protecting it and nourishing it and nurturing it. So what do we want to do? We want to nurture something that is vulnerable but valuable. We want to engage our custodianship. We want to take responsibility for that thing. And maybe we want to become somebody's role model. That could be possible. Maybe we want someone to look up to. Maybe we are the creature there. But I think in this instance, we are the maiden. And we are nurturing and nourishing this new thing, this new vital thing that we see, we have hope for, and we have faith, and it will grow. It will become larger. It will become powerful. And that's the dream. And that dream, that nurturing. And I'm sorry for this airplane, I don't get it. Okay, so that nurturing, nourishing quality is also engaged with that loving relationship with self, the loving relationship with the divine, and the loving relationship with other. So friends, before we get inundated by more air traffic, I'll stop this reading here. I'm sorry, it's so strange. But friends, I hope this meant something to you. I hope I made sense. And I hope my distraction by the airplanes was not too distracting for you. So, if it was good for you, let me know in the comments below. If it was not good for you, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you want a reading from me, my email address is below, thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, we'll get you a reading. Or let me know in the comments below. Say, I want a reading. We'll find a way to meet up on a different platform and do your reading for you. About anything you want. using any deck you want. Okay? Okay. So friends, thank you. And thank you for hitting the thumbs up button, and thank you for subscribing. It really helps other people find the channel. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.